Hello, and congratulations to all of you. It's obviously an amazing movie. It's captured the world's imagination. And you guys were saying backstage, like, it's been a minute since you all have been together. When was the last time you all saw each other?
London.
No.
All together?
Oh, all together.
Yeah.
I saw you last
No, we are really friends. Yeah. But all together, London.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. Something that I'm really excited to talk to you guys about is, the movie has been out for a little bit. It's always fun to see how it's captured the zeitgeist and to have, the benefit of hindsight and seeing how this movie has impacted your lives. I'm curious for each of you, if you could just talk a little bit about a way in which, now that you can look back, this movie stretched you, challenged you, or influenced you as an actor and gave you something to carry forward in your careers. And we can start with Wunmi.
Oh, I feel like I grew as a whole person. Finding Annie, I felt like I had to grow and stretch. Like there was this Annie-shaped whole figure, and I felt like I had to grow and stretch into her as a mother, as a wife, myself, as an artist, and as a Nigerian living in the diaspora. I just felt like I didn't realize how disconnected I was from the power of our ancestry and our belief systems and our religions and our deities. I felt I didn't know anything. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, these are the people I'm from. This is why I'm here. And remembering, now I know, like, to think about how I'm going to reverberate through the future and, like, my future ancestors. And I just felt like it was a very spiritual experience for me. And, it was amazing.
That's so powerful, and I'm going to come back to you just to talk about the spirituality that you felt, and also with your character. It's so powerful, so twofold there. But yeah, Hailee, same question for you.
Oh my goodness. I think one of the most wild parts of this for me has been the sort of aftermath, if you will, and now having the chance to sort of step back and see what we did and what we created and what I am so lucky and honored to be a part of. The growth hasn't stopped. The discoveries have not stopped. The conversations within my family have not stopped. I'm so grateful to see not only, of course, the impact that this has made on people, but more specifically how I feel like it's done for so many people what it did for me, which was start a conversation, a very important one, about even when we saying who you came from, where you came from, what that means, what it means to be proud of that. And that pride only comes with a level of understanding and a level of knowing. And I'm so grateful that this movie came into my life when it did, and not a second later, because I was so just, ready for something like this, ready for the challenge to step out of my comfort zone, but step further into myself, and feel like I don't know, in being a small part of something so big, found a sense of home and found a sense of belonging. And there's more where that came from in playing a character that had trouble finding that, but feeling like this movie and these people, this cast, this crew, this story became home for me is something I'll never take for granted. And I'm so grateful to continue to see people see this movie and react to it.
Yeah, no, me too. It's really exciting to imagine how many people are maybe seeing it for the first time, and and it's one of those movies, like, people will continue seeing this, for the first time over and over because it's going to have a legacy. But Jayme, same question for you.
This movie gave me a sense of freedom that I hadn't had as an artist in a while. Like, I remember even, like, some people from my team, when I finished the project, they were like, Jayme, your eyes are different. Wow. Like, just a sparkle again that when you do the rat race enough times, you kind of get it gets a little glazed, it gets a little dull, it gets a little... And, Ryan really gifted me with through Perlene, like an exploration into a different kind of freedom that I hadn't gotten to play with before, this kind of woman that I haven't gotten to embody before, this level of performance that I haven't really got to. There was no boundaries here. It was like, yeah, what you want to do it. And I hadn't had that in a minute, and I keep carrying that sense of joy and playfulness and like energy. It feels good. I have to say.
I love imagining anyone having to transcribe that noise. It's like you can't. It was just a really joyful sound.
No, talking to me on a regular, it's nothing but sounds and gestures and looks. So.
Oh, man. And Miles, I would love to hear the same response to the question for you.
Yeah, I mean, this was like a complete 360 life change. Like it was like crazy. Like this opportunity, it came as such a just like a perfect time in my life. I feel like this role, I feel like I related to the character so much, and the experience was just amazing. It really made me have a new love for films and the process, and yeah, I couldn't ask for anything else.
I love it. Also, for anyone who doesn't know, first film role.
Come on now.
First film role. You would never guess.
Can I also say that he learned how to play the guitar for this?
Don't do this again. Yeah.
He never says that.
I'm gonna come back to you to ask about the process of doing your first film role ever. But Wunmi, I want to ask you. You know, I was listening to an interview that Ryan Coogler, who wrote and directed this, and he tried not to have actors in mind as he was writing. He really wanted to have tunnel vision in that way, but he had you in mind when he wrote the character. He couldn't resist. Could you talk a little bit about realizing that and what it was like finding that out and then reading the character for the first time with that information?
Well, he told me that on my last day.
Oh.
Oh, by the way.
Literally. And everyone gave speeches on our last day and was given speeches. It was very, very emotional. And he told me that on the last day he had seen, I think he said a moment in the trailer of We Own the City. And he said, oh, that's my Annie, which was amazing. Wow, I know. So I actually didn't know that until the very end. I met him for a meeting on Zoom. We talked for so long. My mom she was looking after the baby. She's like, are you done? Like, this is spiritual. And then I went in for my audition with Michael, and they offered me the role in the room. But it still, everything felt like a surprise. Everything felt like a magic.
That doesn't happen.
That does not happen.
From the reaction, I was like a room full of actors. Everybody's like, wow.
It does not happen. And I think maybe he didn't tell me that because he wanted to make sure that we vibe together. That it wasn't a guarantee. But yeah, he told me on my last day. That's where
that might have been like, a lot to have in your head the whole time. I'm going to ask everybody, some stuff about their character, but you've mentioned spirituality already, and I want to hear more about that, because obviously I could watch a whole prequel about your character learning hoodoo and just the way in which she carries herself. And obviously Ryan is someone who works with many, consultants as well to give his films that real, like, authentic quality. So can you talk a little bit about learning that aspect of your character and preparing to play her and what that was like?
Yeah, we had a hoodoo consultant, Miss Yvonne. She kind of spoke me through. I mean, technically, what I would do in each moment, like feeding the mojo bag, but I can't describe the first conversation, the conversations I had with her. It was just, I don't know. It was like, I just felt like a child, like being like, whoa, is this? Like the world was being explained to me for the first time. I don't know how to describe it because it's rooted in Ifa, which is the traditional Yoruba religion, and it's something that my mom is terrified of. My mom is terrified of Ifa, and as a kid, she was always like scared of I had just so much stuff, and so I kind of felt really torn between. My mom was like, "Don't go too deep, don't look too hard." I was going to the Voodoo Museum, but I was going to the House of Hoodoo. I was speaking to spiritualists. I was having readings. My mom was terrified. And I was a little bit scared because I was like, there's a wisdom in her fear too. Like, I just don't know it. And it's only in like kind of realizing that part of the power of colonialism is to make you your disbelief in your own strength and power. And also knowing that colonialism is afraid of Ifa because of its power. That was something that really made me go, oh, that's why she's scared. Like that was part of the plan. You know, I feel like it's something that, I don't know, it lives within Christianity. It lives in conjunction with other religions and faiths. It's a faith system. It's a wisdom. It's an ancestral knowledge. It's a earthly and spiritual knowledge. It's a healing thing. So to me, it just kind of, I just felt like a kid, and I just wanted to know more. Yeah.
Yeah, you brought all of that complexity to the role, and this is why I would love a prequel just with her character. I'm like, there's just so much there. That's so powerful. Hailee, I want to ask you, your performance is so rich, and you have this transformation. So I'm curious if it feels like playing two characters in a way. Can you talk a little bit about playing the character one way, getting that transformation, and how you tackled sort of the two sides of her?
You're talking about Vampire Mary.
Yes, yeah.
Because with that, you did feel at times like I had the privilege of playing two roles, but even within those two worlds, it felt like she was or could be a million different people. Yeah. But that was a gift as an actor. I feel like there's obviously, we have Michael playing two characters, and there was a world in which we all, I think, were channeling more than one version of our character, and even in the same moment at times. One thing that we talked a lot about, and that I know was very important to Ryan, was that even with all of these supernatural elements, everything still felt very human and very grounded. It wasn't about, putting the teeth in and hissing and snarling, and it was about a stillness and our friggin' noises at the beginning. It took us a minute to get there and find it, but it was about a stillness and a power and a presence over the cliches, if you will, or what you might expect or think you're supposed to do as a vampire. We've come a long way. We'd come a long way. But I guess you could say human Mary carries a lot of grief and loss, while Vampire Mary kind of... One thing that one way I really loved to look at it was that the vampire version of her felt everything she felt, just way deeper. Her senses were very heightened. She had the desire to be in a room with Stack. She was going to find herself in a room with Stack, and Mary would have stopped at nothing also, but it gave her this sort of push and this courage to have that I don't know, that more intense sort of primal energy that just sort of became her. But it was fun to go through the transformation of that special effects trailer and walk out, and the amount of times people would come out of there and we would be like, please tell me you just walked out of the trailer and not anywhere else. But yeah, so fun to be able to have those two things to go back and forth with.
Yeah, I mean, I feel it in the performance. You also mentioned Michael. He's also playing two roles. Was that something you two talked about? Like, tell me a little bit about, collaborating with him in that way and sharing that commonality with him.
No, we didn't talk about that. I just compared myself to that experience. He played twins. I had to do all this, going back and forth. No. But Thanks. We didn't talk about it. No, but one thing I do think back on often is the conversations were had, but there was almost this sort of like unspoken language that was developed between Michael, Wunmi, and I, that I was always so fascinated and blown away by his ability to show up on set as either character and be so fully locked into that role, when 30 minutes prior he was the other one doing in a completely different mental state, emotional, physical, everything. And it's wild. We talk about this all the time. When he would come on set as Smoke, he and I did not interact. I didn't want to. It was a different energy. Stack was fun. Stack, he would come on set as Stack, and it would make sense, and we would click. But there was, again, this sort of like unspoken, he was drawn to Wunmi as Smoke, and he was drawn to me when he was Stack, and vice versa. And that was a really interesting dynamic that just kind of unfolded on its own.
Wow, yeah. That's so amazing. I would love to dig into that more, but I love that, and I guess it makes sense you guys weren't sitting around talking about acting, in this meta way.
Yeah,
but I had to ask.
2 hours. It was 30 minutes. I'm exhausted.
Jayme, I love your performance as Perline, and I think, this is a film about otherworldliness in a lot of way, but you play this character with such an ethereal quality, the way that you carry her. That's how I felt it when I was watching it. Yeah, the way you carry her. Well, I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about some of the choices that you made to play her and bring her to life.
Oh man, I was making new choices every day, honestly. This was the first time I didn't come with a complete idea of who this person was. I think just also the nature of how quick everything was happening, I couldn't have. But I came actually with more questions than I had answers. And I allowed each person that I was collaborating with to feed me and tell me who Perline was. Like, I remember being in that fitting with our costume designer, Ruth E. Carter. And I remember we tried on a silhouette of what becomes her performance dress, and with that neck shawl, scarf. And I remember seeing myself in that mirror, and I said, oh, there she is. Because I was trying to figure out, well, who is Perline as the performer? This was also before we had heard the song. They were still writing the song, so I didn't know what the song was going to be yet. And I'm just like, what does it mean for this repressed woman who's young but is married this old man that that has this other life, right? Mm-hmm. To want to escape to, how does she come alive? And I remember seeing that scarf around my neck. And I just remember tugging at it and seeing how it draped off and then twirling it and I was like, oh, there's Perline. And it was stuff like that, just allowing that to build, and then also how I connected with Miles and coming to understand who Preacher Boy was and what that energy is that he's coming at me with, and like, little boy, who you think? Don't you think this is, just allowing that to really inform and figure out and let her be different in different scenes. We would laugh constantly, because also I felt like Ryan set me up. No. There were some lines at the end where it just felt like Perline wasn't all the way there. And I was like, well, we're gonna lean into it. So I had fun, because at every moment in every different scene, she just felt like it was something else, and I was like, oh, let that just be what that is, and see what you come away with. And so, if ethereal is what you got, then I'll take it.
That's what I got. Yes. Oh man, I'm also so glad you mentioned the legendary Ruth E. Carter, amazing costume designer. I'm sure everyone knows. Yeah, Miles. So this is your first role. I'm so curious. What did you think screen acting was going to be like, and how was it totally different from? No. Come on. I'm just curious. Like, what did you think it was going to be going into it, and how was it totally different, or how was it totally the same once you got into it?
I mean, you know, I grew up watching movies and stuff, so I always had like an idea of how I thought a set looked like or what the process was. But man, when I got there, it was completely different, in a good way. You know, it was just so much to see every day. Like, I remember reading the script on the page and like just thinking like, this is incredible, but like, how is this gonna be? You know, how is this gonna become a real thing? And then once I got to New Orleans and I saw the stage and I saw the different locations, I was just like, wow, like this is really special. And I think throughout that process is like I said, I just grew every day, working with you know these guys and just seeing like everybody's different process and stealing from people and kind of create my own way of, you know. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Do you remember any of the things that you stole or something that you saw where you were like, oh, I like that, That's
well, you know. No, you know what the coolest thing about seeing these ladies like act is like they're all like so sweet, and like when they switch, like Wunmi, oh my gosh, she's like the sweetest person in the world, and when she becomes Annie, she's like, your money come with blood. She's like, oh, like, I'm like, what happens? But it's like, just seeing like everybody's process was really dope, and I learned a lot. Yeah.
I love that. I have to ask, because I think one of the most iconic scenes from this film is that amazing like music history sequence. I'm so curious about everyone's perspective on this. But Miles, I know that you read the script and they showed you like an animation of what. Can you just talk a little bit about the journey of reading what it was going to be on the page, being in it, and then seeing it for the first time?
Yeah. So once I got the entire script and I read it through, I talked to Ryan a little bit about it, and like he explained to me what his vision was for it, you know, aside from it being on the page. And then I worked with Ludwig and Serena Goranson, incredible, you know, composers, and I would go to set, I would do, you know, my acting on set, and then I would go straight to the studio and we would work on the songs, and they played me like the animation of how the process would work and kind of what that moment meant for Sammy and for the culture and everything. So it was a lot of fun to shoot. I think it took like, how long did it take? Was that like?
I want to say 2 days, 1 day exterior.
Yep. Right, yeah, exterior and interior.
He was like, I was there for 5 days.
It was.
It was 3.
Really? It was 2.
I think it was 2. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. So it was.
They got that oneer in one night.
Yeah, when I got there, because I practiced by myself the whole time, like the singing part and the guitar. But when I got there, they had the dancers and the different people. All of that stuff was already choreographed and organized. So I just had to stand in the middle and just do my thing. But just seeing like the whole thing come together was really amazing. And yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious for everyone else's reactions once you saw that final product. It's just such an amazing scene.
Chills.
Yeah.
I screamed. I think I screamed.
I screamed when I read it. Because I had read a draft where the scene was Preacher Boy singing and the girls were kind of connecting with their men, and it was about the community. And then a few months later, before the read through, I'm like, let me read this new draft, and I threw the script down. I ran into the living room. I was like, Tash, what's my husband? This is gonna be amazing. This is so amazing. Where did he get that from? He is a conduit for the ancestors. He is a conduit for the future ancestors. Ryan Coogler, I just don't know where he got it, because the script was perfect. And then he just kept, I don't know how he did it. It was amazing. And then when we were shooting the scene, Papa Toto, who plays his ancestor, starts talking to Miles. And he is basically doing the same speech that Delta Slim does to Sammy. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just so perfect. Wow, like, this is so perfect. It's powerful. It still gives me chills.
No, I mean, and it's like instant film history in that way. It's just going to be one of those scenes that lives on and is talked about forever and ever. I'm curious. I mean, we've talked about Ryan, and this is a room full of actors. I'm sure everyone here would say yes so quickly if Ryan asked them to be in something. I'm curious if you were to prep another actor for what it's like to be on a Ryan Coogler set. This is what rehearsal's going to be like. This is what set's going to be like. This is how he gives notes. Like, what are some things you would impress to a fellow actor about working with Ryan?
Bring your full self. He's one of the directors. He's a true collaborator. Like, there was never a sense of an ego ever on set, and it always started with him and Mike. Like, the two of them, they didn't carry any of that. And Ryan always kept asking questions, and I'm like, you wrote this, right? Like, but it was a genuine, like, he keeps a genuine curiosity. And I think I know that a lot of the creatives that I look up to and I aspire to be, I see the through line. They are generous and they are constantly curious. And so I would encourage, if you ever get the chance to work with that man, just fully bring yourself, because he's going to want you to. He wants all of you in that room. And it's a joy to get to live in yourself that way. Yeah.
I want to hear more responses too about that, because I'm sure everybody had their own, relationship to Ryan in that way as a creative.
I mean, I would echo that completely. When you started to ask the question of just what would you tell, how would you preface it, you're going to have a blast. There's that. I don't know that I've ever felt so connected to a director ever. And for somebody who's got a big ensemble cast, a lot of moving parts, these days were long, the weather was not cooperative, there was everything that got in his way did. And somehow every single time he was talking to you, you were the only person in the room. Yeah. And one thing I loved, and I know we've all talked about this because this feels strangely rare, at least for me, but I think we had a shared experience with this, where oftentimes you might get a director from Video Village yelling out a thought or a note or a blocking idea or whatever, and everyone can hear it, and you're already in a vulnerable position, and now everybody kind of knows what's expected of you, and now you're really on the spot. And he would find his way through water, mud, rain, just sea of bugs, whatever it was that stood in his way, to come up to you, look you in the eyes, or whisper in your ear, this is what I'm thinking. And it could have been 3 words, it could have been a full cut the cameras, let's have a discussion about this. Wow. And he's just, he allows you the ability to be so bold and so free. And like, as an actor, there's nothing more you can ask for than to show up and do the job you were hired to do. And he allows you to do just that. And he stands behind you. He supports everything you bring to the table. And to your point, Jayme, that's a perfect thing to say. Bring your whole self and know that every part of it is going to be accepted and celebrated and further pushed and supported. Yeah, I mean, my God, if I ever get the chance again in my life.
Yeah. That's an easy yes.
Easy yes. Miles, I would love to hear from you as well.
Yeah, I feel like this was like a big transition for me. This is my first time acting, my first time on a set, and as different as it was, as much as I had to learn and train for it, when I got to set, it really felt like home. And I feel like that was the tone that Ryan set the entire time. When you're there, it just feels like home. It feels like fun. And I feel like there's a lot that I learned, more so not even from what he told me, but just by watching him, his dynamic and how he treats people. And we would be in Thibodeau where it's like 110 degrees trying to warm up for a set or for a scene. And we're doing jumping jacks and stuff, and he's doing it with us. Like, he's a part of the process 100%. And then there's times where, like, you'll expect him to give you a note, and then he'll like walk all the way through the set just to say, "Good job, bro. Like, you're doing a great job." And I'm just like, wow. Like, so just having that confidence and having somebody who's really got your back in that sense, it gave me a sense of comfort to be vulnerable and to try different things and not, feel like I look crazy or whatever. So it was really cool.
I mean, and big shoes to fill for the next director that you work with. And you're going to keep on acting, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, Wunmi, same question for you.
That is a really good point. I said, it's really hard to not compare everyone and everything to that most beautiful moment in my life. I do feel like I felt like I found a part of myself, a strength. I felt empowered by him. He makes you feel like he makes every person on the set feel like they're the head of their department. It didn't matter where you were on the call sheet. If you're a part of this team, your opinion matters. He'd see a thought cross your mind, and he said, "What was that? What were you thinking?" He sat us all. We all watched the film individually. The first cut. He said, "What's your notes?" Like, he really. I finally feel like a grown up. Like, I feel like my voice matters. I feel like my opinion matters, and I'm no longer scared to share it. I had never given a note in my life to anyone at all, and Mr. Ryan Coogler is asking me and listening to me. Like, I would say, like, when you get the opportunity to work with him, take it all, and like he will feed you, and you will grow, and feel like, oh, this is who I was always meant to be. Like, I don't know. I just feel like a grown up now. I feel kind of, I don't know. I just feel mature. I do. I feel mature now.
I love that.
Trusted.
Yeah. I think that I could ask you so many more questions about this, obviously, but that is like a beautiful note to end things on. I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. I want to thank everyone here for coming tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.